following up tonight on the license plate readers coming soon to Quincy. The Quincy City Council unanimously gave approval to the Quincy Police Department to enter into a 2-year agreement with Flock, the company that will supply those readers. And WGEM Shakayla McCamick joins us live in Quincy. Now, Shakayla, how many of these readers will there be?
Mackenzie, so in just a couple of months, we should be seeing 20 license plate readers across Quincy. Now, this intersection of 54th and Broadway is just one of the locations that was chosen to receive a reader. Chief Adam Yates says the readers will primarily be placed at common entry and exit points of Quincy. So if a vehicle comes into the city and it's wanted or stolen, or if someone commits a crime in the city and flees, police will better be able to search for the vehicle. Yates says data from the readers are stored in a system that only QPD can access. He says they should provide leads in investigations and could help locate amber and silver alert vehicles when needed.
So our officers, instead of just driving around and hoping to find a vehicle that, say, was involved in a shooting in Hannibal, we will now know when, if the plate has been listed in NCIC, when it goes past the license plate reader at R.J. Peters and Highway 57, we'll now know that that vehicle is in our jurisdiction.
The estimated cost of the contract with Flock is about $117,000. Yates says the readers will assist QPD in investigations, and long-term, he hopes to see them deter crime from coming into the city. Live in Quincy, Shakayla McCamick, WGEM News.
And thank you, Shakayla. And Yates says his goal is to have all readers installed before summer, hopefully in the next 6 to 8 weeks.